Unlisted videos, insider drops. The only way in is through my private SMS list.
Michelle Obama gave the game away with one word, me. And right on cue, the Obama machine flipped out over a UFC fighter shouting, "Michelle Obama is a man." Am I right, America? Right from the octagon on the White House lawn, that blunt line triggered lawsuit chatter, pearl clutching, and elite panic. Fine, but while the media chases the insult, Barack Obama's Vanity Center in Chicago sits there like an $850 million monument to ego, with minority subcontractors saying they're owed millions and promised taxpayer backstop sitting at just $1 million. So ask yourself, why does Obama world want America staring at the joke instead of the bill? Why? Because this story hits the wallet. It hits it hard. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama spent years selling themselves as untouchable royalty, the sainted faces of the regime, the couple nobody can mock and nobody can question. Meanwhile, the Obama Presidential Center ballooned from $330 million to at least $850 million. The promised $470 million endowment that was supposed to shield the Chicago taxpayers under a 99-year deal sits at just $1 million. That's not a cushion, that's a bad punchline. And the people getting crushed are not hedge fund consultants, they're local firms, minority-owned subcontractors, union workers. Omar Sharif of the African American Contractors Association put it perfectly. What sense is celebrating Juneteenth if our black contractors are not getting their money? That line detonates the whole Obama pose. Barack Obama gets his monument, Michelle Obama gets her image protection squad, Chicago gets risk. Small businesses get drained reserves, layoffs, mortgages on the line, and financial ruin. And that's how the left governs. Racial theater up front, invoices buried in the back. And while these elites burn cash on vanity projects and PR shields, regular Americans are hunting for things that actually help real families. You've probably seen the clip, Joe Rogan sitting with Mel Gibson talking about people close to him who went through serious health struggles and then saw dramatic turnarounds. Rogan brings up light-based therapies and how they impact the body at a cellular level. And Gibson says it straight, the stuff works. And that got my attention because in my own life I watched something very similar unfold. For a long time, my wife was dealing with constant discomfort and anxiety. It was one of those battles that wears a family down. And then we looked into red light therapy. Big difference. If you want to learn more, check out the countless interviews I've done with Jonathan right here on this channel. But really, go to the resource at myredlight.com. Go there, check it out, and use NNN25 for individual items or NNN30 for bundles. When the system fails you, practical solutions matter, and that is one worth your time. Now, here's the part that makes the whole thing impossible to ignore. As the Obama Center opened today, they stopped to honor the original inhabitants of the land. Yes, in a glowing land acknowledgement. Think about that. Barack Obama's team staged elite ceremonial theater about the soil under their feet, while contractors who actually poured, built, wired, and hauled for this monument say they still haven't been paid. That's the Obama formula in one frame. Symbolism for the cameras, pain for the workers. We're going to pull up the tweets because the internet's caught this scam faster than the corporate press ever would. So we're learning this now. Of course, you know about the UFC comments. The Obamas are reportedly considering a defamation lawsuit against Josh Hokett, the UFC and Paramount, after he shouted Michelle Obama is a man during the UFC fight at the White House. So Obama's reportedly talking lawsuit over the UFC moment. Here's the clip that set them off.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Oh, that clip is going to last forever. He said it, and now the internet's asking why the Obama camp's so rattled. Next, Michelle gives her own one-word answer about the next chapter. Describe your next chapter in one word.
One word to describe your next chapter. One word.
Fun.
Me.
Oh,
That's what you call
You
drop
like
the
that?
mic.
Oh, drop the
you seem to be grading her higher on her answer.
Oh, drop the mic. Oh, yeah. Softballs all day long. Why don't you ask Barack about his time in the backseat of that limousine with the crack pipe. Anyway, after the me moment, the focus shifts from image to legacy. Barack Obama's presidential center opening in Chicago, contractors say the whole thing has turned into an expensive mess. Barack Hussein Obama's trash can presidential center opening in Chicago. Black contractors are furious, saying we haven't been paid.
Will be holding its grand opening ceremony as concerns over the costs for the project grow. Todd Pyro thought he was getting an invitation. He did not, so he's going to tell us what happened.
Stunned.
Right.
Could not believe it. I've been waiting in my office for it to arrive, and I'm going to talk to Mail later on today. Well, after years of waiting and millions of dollars spent, the Barack Obama Presidential Center finally set to open to the public tomorrow after today's dedication ceremony right in the heart of the south side of Chicago. It's the most expensive presidential library in modern history, as construction costs have reportedly ballooned from $330 million to at least $850 million. Although an updated final projected cost has not yet been made public, it all comes as some subcontractors are claiming they have not yet been paid for the work they have done.
So many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Contractors are already in bankruptcy. That's what they're saying, that if it wasn't the fact that they worked on this Obama project, they would not be under this type of problem.
And now the Obama Foundation tells Fox News Digital that it paid Lakeside Alliance, a local construction company, as the project's construction manager, and that Lakeside was responsible for hiring, managing, and paying subcontractors working on the center. Despite all these supposed issues, former presidents Joe Biden, George Bush, and Bill Clinton all slated to attend today's ceremony. Doors officially open to the public tomorrow morning.
I can't wait to go. So you heard about the ballooning price tag, the unpaid contractors, and somehow the grand opening still kicks off with the usual left-wing ritual, a land acknowledgement.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the original inhabitants of the land upon which we are gathered today. We honor the Anishinaabe, the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi nations.
Makes you want to puke. But that was the tone of the ceremony. But the money problem's not going away. Next, more reporting on the subcontractors who say they're owed millions of dollars. Obama Presidential Center subcontractors claim they're owed millions and facing financial ruin. So while the Obama machine celebrates, the bills are still hanging out there. Now Fox digs into the taxpayer risk too, with the promised endowment sitting at just a fraction of what was sold to the public.
I feel like an aluminum can that's been thrown in front of a steamroller. We're crushed.
Mike Owen, Adamson Plumbing.
Just on our internals, the overall monies expended on this project have now reached nearly $4 million in the red. That's in totality over the last 5 years. That is a hole that no subcontractor, small business can survive. And unfortunately, my losses are on the smaller side compared to some of my peers. I think the goal at one point was to break even. Now it's just to survive.
Wow. Losses could lead to layoffs.
Financially, our reserves have been completely drained. We are barely getting by right now. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to lay off union workers here in the short term so that we can regroup and lick our wounds and hopefully live to fight another day. That's where we're at. For me, I know for a fact it's been an emotional roller coaster, and I'm cooked emotionally. And I have to fight for my company and for my people, and that's what I'm doing today. I believe my peers, just through internal conversations with them, are deeper in the red. I think also my peers have a little bit more pressure on them to maybe keep things more in-house, and I completely understand that. But as for me and my company, I'm at the end of my rope, and So,
subcontractors not getting paid, and that $470 million endowment sits at $1 million. Subcontractors claim they're owed millions days before the grand opening. So it's not just a funding gap in paper. The people who built it say they're getting crushed. Next, one contractor's advocate lays out how minority-owned firms are being left twisting in the wind. Here's another one.
To know why they're not getting paid, and what sense is celebrating Juneteenth if our black contractors are not getting their money. My name is Omar Sharif, president of the African American Contractors Association. I've been in business since 1989. I never seen this happen since I've been in business. Even when I worked with the Chicago Urban League, so many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Some of the people have put their mortgages up. They're going to lose their bonding, their rate in their bonding company. They're going to lose their relationship with their supplier, as well as their banker may want to bring in their note. So they're afraid to talk about these things, but they tell me in privacy that these things are taking place with them. And they're scared to death about talking about it, some of them. Someone will hang up the phone on you and just say, I don't want to talk about that, and bye. Yeah, we met with them on several terms, but that's when they told us they had to stop conversation about it because they all signed a non-disclosure.
And they're all a non-disclosure. So the contractors say the project brought pride at first and pain after, and the backlash online is just as brutal. Critics mocking the center as one giant garbage can. Now, if you could only teach a libtard how to actually use a garbage can. Take a look at this picture. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well, doesn't it? So the moral verdict lands right there between two words, me and money. Michelle Obama, she says that her next chapter is me. Omar Sharif asks, what sense is celebrating Juneteenth if our black contractors aren't getting their money? Those two lines tell you the entire story of Barack Obama's presidential center better than any glossy brochure ever will. Barack Obama built a monument to himself. Michelle Obama demands reverence. The Obama Foundation says the center is fully funded, while the endowment meant to protect taxpayers sits at $1 million against a promised $470 million backstop. That gap is not bookkeeping. That gap is the Obama brand image first. See, accountability never, and when anybody laughs, mocks, or punctures the mythology, the machine lunges for lawsuits instead of answers. So here's where this goes next. Chicago officials need to name every subcontractor still waiting on payment, state the exact amount owed, and explain who signed off on opening the center under a cloud of unpaid bills. Barack Obama needs to answer for the 99-year taxpayer exposure. The Obama Foundation needs to explain how fully funded squares with a $1 million endowment where a $470 million shield was promised. Michelle Obama's camp can save the legal threats for somebody else. Americans heard the UFC outburst fine. They can survive a joke. What working people cannot survive is getting steamrolled so powerful Democrats can cut ribbons in front of a vanity project. Trump draws crowds because people feel strength, loyalty, and love of country. The Obama machine demands worship while businesses bleed out behind the stage. So share this segment and send it to anyone still hypnotized by the Obama myth, and keep your eye on the invoices, because that's where the masks come off. And if you've signed up for this insider alert system that we built, keep your eye on your phone. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. We're cutting out the middleman, going direct to you. When the notifications from YouTube never arrive, I will send them direct to you. And it's time to celebrate America 250 with the Next News Network. Check out the merch shelf below this video, or just go to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.